Every World Cup has that one player who makes the biggest clubs look a little foolish. You know the type, the kind of breakout star who has scouts scrambling and fans asking, how did we not see this coming? This summer, that player feels like Crysencio Summerville. While a lot of the Arsenal conversation has been pulled toward the idea of Bruno Guimarães, Summerville has been quietly putting together the kind of tournament that changes careers. 2 goals, an assist, and that constant sense that defenders have no idea what's about to happen next. And if you're thinking about what Mikel Arteta wants in his wide players, it's hard not to see the fit. What's really caught my eye is how complete his wing play has looked. For the Netherlands, he's been used on the right. Even though plenty of his club football last season came from the left at West Ham, and that switch hasn't dulled him at all. If anything, it's highlighted the thing elite wingers share. They're a problem wherever you put them. Summerville can go outside, slice inside, and he doesn't need the game to be perfectly set up for him. He drives straight at people. He commits defenders. He forces decisions. And unlike so many modern wide players who feel like they have one safe direction, he looks comfortable off either foot. That goal against Japan with his so-called weaker left is a great example. It wasn't just a nice finish. It was a reminder that you can't simply show him one way and feel protected. And unpredictability matters, especially for Arsenal. Last season, Arsenal were excellent, but there were still matches where they had all the ball and not quite enough troublemaking in the final third. Plenty of possession, plenty of structure, but not always that moment where someone just humiliates a fullback and the whole game swings. Bukayo Saka can do that. Gabriel Martinelli can do it when he's in rhythm. But after those two, the drop-off is obvious. That's not even criticism. It's just reality. Arteta's system is built on control and discipline, but also needs a little chaos near the box. When the passing patterns get blocked, someone still has to take responsibility, receive the ball under pressure, and make something happen anyway. Summerville looks like exactly that kind of outlet. What's been just as impressive as the attacking moments, though, is the work without the ball. Watch him when possession turns over. He doesn't drift. He doesn't wait for someone else to fix it. He sprints back to help his fullback. He presses aggressively. He positions himself intelligently, and he treats defending like part of the job description. And under Arteta, that's not optional. Arsenal haven't just been recruiting talent for a while now. They've been recruiting mentality, character, players who buy into the demands. Summerville, based on what we're seeing, looks like someone who has both the ability and the attitude. Now, about Bruno Guimarães. Let's be fair. He's a top player. There's a reason he's so highly rated. His passing range, his vision, his leadership at Newcastle, it's all real, and his World Cup has reminded everyone of that, with assist after assist in the group stage. If Arsenal signed him, nobody would be pretending he isn't good enough. But that's not the real question, is it? The question is, does it actually solve Arsenal's problems? Because look at the midfield options Arsenal already have. Declan Rice, Martin Zubimendi, Martin Odegaard, Mikel Merino, and Miles Lewis-Skelly developing fast. At a certain point, you have to ask how many elite central midfielders a squad needs before it becomes more congestion than competition. If Guimarães comes in, where do the minutes go? Who shifts position? Who sits? Does Lewis-Skelly's path get blocked at the exact moment he needs games? Does Merino spend another season as a luxury option rather than a contributor? Do you end up moving Rice into a role that isn't actually the best use of him just to make the pieces fit? When you start doing the math, it gets messy quickly. Out wide, it's the opposite. Arsenal have been leaning on Saka year after year. Every season there's talk about managing his workload, protecting him, giving him real competition and rotation. And every season it feels like Arteta ends up needing him for basically every serious match anyway, because the alternatives don't offer the same level of threat and reliability. Summerville would change that dynamic immediately. He can play either wing. He can spell Saka without the attack collapsing. He can play alongside Saka in matches where Arsenal want relentless 1v1 pressure on both sides. He can also come off the bench and flip a game by forcing defenders to deal with fresh legs and direct running. And crucially, you don't have to rebuild your midfield structure to accommodate him. Then there's the money and the timing. Newcastle would almost certainly demand big numbers for Guimarães, comfortably north of £60 million, and maybe more depending on how the market shifts around them. That might be fair value for the player he is, but he's also approaching 29. Arsenal's recent strategy has leaned toward players entering their peak years, rather than edging toward the later stages of them. Summerville, at 24, fits the profile much more closely. He's already proven in the Premier League, and you can make a strong case that he's still climbing. This doesn't feel like a sudden, flimsy World Cup hype cycle where someone has 3 good games and everyone loses their mind. We've seen him do it at club level against Premier League defenders. Now, he's doing it on an international stage against different styles, different defensive setups, different pressures, and he's passing both tests. None of this means Arsenal can't or won't sign another midfielder. Arteta has never been shy about strengthening areas that already look strong. But if the club really wants to be ambitious, fast, and smart in the market, the smarter move might be acting decisively on the tournament's most explosive winger before the rest of Europe fully piles in. Because Bruno Guimarães is outstanding, yes. But Summerville looks like the kind of signing you watch another club make and immediately think, that was obvious. Why didn't we move sooner? And sometimes the transfer everyone expects isn't the one that actually fixes what you need fixed. This feels like one of those moments.